Hey folks, thanks for joining us this week. We've got a yearling barrel horse futurity prospect that my farrier here, Lee Olson's having a little bit of trouble trimming, and we'll be working with that colt whenever we come back, so stay tuned. That's a good looking little filly there.
Yes, sir. I work on a lot of young horses in my business, a lot of futurity horses, and they're not always easy to work with. And even if the owner is willing to sedate them or have the vet come whatever we need, a lot of times horsemanship is very crucial. And they don't always get it at a young age like they should. And it becomes very stressful for me as a farrier because I'm working on extremely expensive horses. And as soon as I put the halter on them, I am liable for them. So that puts a lot of pressure on me, and when the horses has a chance of landing on my tools or hurting themselves on the concrete, that's a big concern. Well, she's a three-quarter sister to one of the most all-time winning futurity barrel horses. And she's by Dark Kelly out of own daughter of Dash to Fame.
Okay. You okay?
Yeah.
I can see where you have a little bit of trouble trimming her. See, like right there, you're talking about, you're in a position right there on a hard concrete or somewhere right there, fall down and hit her head.
Yeah.
It's a tough deal.
She got used to being able to rear up and get away, and what that led into is that she could leave the scene anytime she wanted to. And I don't believe she's a bad horse. She's bred to be one of the best barrel futurity horses in the world. And with any great horses, they have big personalities.
A lot of these horses, where they're so well bred, and they've got so much money in these horses, they're almost afraid to do anything.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense? So you can see where
me included.
You can see where this filly's twice has already tried to rear up and fall over.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got a little bit of that with her. You know what I'm saying? So one thing we do is we bring them in here. They got very good footing, to where if they fell down, they're not going to hurt themselves on this footing. And I think that's really important. We've got to be able to set the stage.
I've been shoeing for Chris for several years, and it never ceases to amaze me how awesome every horse here is to work with. And a lot of times he's not even around while we're doing them, but it's because of the foundation that he puts on them.
Whenever, see how she's been taught to lean on you? See how she pushes you around?
Yes, sir.
You watch her, she's pushed Lee around, she gets that angle right there, see? She gets that angle on him, and it works so quickly. It works so quickly that she's understand how to get away from the human right there. So I'm going to go ahead and stick a halter on her, one of my halters here, and not that this is any magic or anything, it's just what I'm used to. We'll go ahead and we'll stick this halter on her, lady. Hey, darling. Hey, darling. Boy, she would be tough to trim. Huh?
When she started getting mad, and she even laid down and peed too, she was mad.
It's tough, isn't it, huh? Spoiled too, huh? Didn't last very long, did it? Okay. So, you can see that pulling on her head is not going to do any good. So, what she's done is she's gotten away with these angles. She rears up and gotten away with these angles. So what I'm going to do, so right there, I got her through the air. Got her through the air. I try to hold her head. Whenever she flips over like that, I held her head up so the head didn't hit the ground. You'll see right here, her body hit the ground, but her head didn't. So just on experience like this, with these flippers, and she's kind of a flipper. where I got to be really careful of trying to get there. There we go. That was a good change right there. So when she does rear up, I want to be able to keep her head off the ground to where her head doesn't hit that ground. So she can fall on her side or whatever, but she's got some tricks right there. You watch here again, she'll try it again. I'm going to get her hind end moved around. She does that again. See, I held her head. That was good. I'm going to get away from this fence. So I'm going to work with her again here. You'll see her reaction is to rear up. There we go. That's better. When she starts to get those hind feet crossing, you see her salivate right there. That's a small little change. But it's going to make a huge difference to this filly. Now she's starting to think instead of running backwards, see? She's going to try me again. There we go. She's going to try me again. There we go. Nice. There's a big difference right there. Good job. I've got to be able to connect this lead rope, I call it a rein, this rein to their feet. You notice at the beginning, that rein wasn't connected to the feet. She just rear up and twist over. So whenever I go to this side, it's the same thing. This is the first time I've worked on this side. There we go. There's a change. It's all about angles and release. So this filly settled down just from that little bit. But you watch, I'll go along here and I'll test her. Test her. There we go. I'll test her. You'll see her salivate there, and I'm going to ask her just to lead forward here. There you go. So much of this lead, when you're working with a young horse, you notice when I pick up on this rein, it has an effect. Watch this. I'll pick up on this rein. There's the effect. The effect is it releases when that horse's feet come to me.
Right.
So many people do this, is whenever they're pulling, that horse leads, they keep pulling. See there? I never did give to it. See there?
Right. And they just give up on you.
And I would imagine it's the same exact way as picking up a foot.
Oh, yeah.
The horse is fighting, you give to it, you just keep pulling on it.
Right. And then as he challenged her, you could tell that it was just instilling more confidence and more faith. She was understanding, she was licking her lips, she trusted Chris.
Watch how I get to working with this filly, and I teach her to find the release, see? Find the release with me. See, there you go. See how she looked at me?
Yeah.
How I'm creating that energy, and she looks at me, I'm the release. I'm the release. You see? We're gonna build on this on progress. I'm the release. I'm that girl. This will be the first time that I've touched her, Lee. Now I went up and tried to put a halter on her. Right there, see? She came to me and greeted me. I'm not going to go up there and pet on her and stuff. She's been touched and petted on so much, she's sick of it.
Right.
So I'm going to come over here to this side. Create a little energy. Now I started getting her hind feet crossed over. Now I'm going to start driving her rib cage. See there? There we go. So I started her hind feet, getting it crossed over. Now I'm going to start creating a little bit of softness in the rib cage, which means this is exactly the same as I'm riding a horse. I yield the hindquarters. Now I'm going to start bringing the rib cage around. So when I can start getting that crabbing working for me, what happens is I start creating softness through the body and ultimately through the neck and even in the mouth of the head. So I'll come up over here. I'm going to start bringing the rib cage. Drive the rib cage. There we go. There, just one step. And she gave it to me. But what I'm telling this filly is, I'm saying, if you try for me, I promise I'll give it right back to you. I promise I'll create a system of ultimate release. I promise I'll never get in your way if you try. Now Now we're starting to move the rib cage. So it's what I call a process of crabbing. So I go over and I rub that rib cage. Now she's starting to think instead of overreact. Right? Okay? So before you can ever trim her, Lee, I've got to give her some exercises. Some exercises. What exercises mean? It means that I teach her how to give her body. I teach her how to be able to have a disciplinary movement if something was to go wrong, instead of just jerk on the head and you listen to me, you know?
Right. Kick them in the belly.
Yeah, or a kick in the belly. So I give them some exercises, some routines that actually tie into riding. It ties into saddling. It ties into mounting. It ties into farrier. It ties into all the things that you want.
It doesn't take long for Chris to break through. She started realizing that he was going to be there until she gave in. She could see her start to give in and start to give in just a little more all the time. You can see less resistance. You can see her starting to come to Chris. You can see her licking her lips. She's understanding.
So remember I told you I worked on the hindquarters first, the rib cage second. Now I'm starting to work on the front end, the shoulders. So watch me working on the shoulders at a distance. So I pick this hand up right here. I'll ask. I tell. And then I correct. See there? Go through my process. I ask. And there we go. Perfect.
I think one of the biggest takeaways that a horse owner or a farrier could get out of this is that the building blocks that it takes. And you have to start off small. You've got to get their attention like Chris did, and you've got to work them. You got to work each quarter of them and get them trainable and ready to be worked on.
I go through her body to get to her mind. And now that I have her mind, watch this right here. Hold, now that I have her mind, now I can wait on it. Watch how I'm going to wait on it. Right there's a change. See there? She finally figured out I wasn't going to give up.
Right.
If I would have gave to her feet when she was actually leaning on that halter, that's the resistance. That's her natural resistance that I'd end with. Watch again here. I just pick this up and I wait for that energy to get to her feet, just like that. These little things that you can practice on a horse. Don't go to a horse that needs help to learn this. Go to a horse that doesn't need help. It's more forgiving of your mistakes. You're not going to get it right the first time.
And then when they actually are ready to be worked on, then there's more building blocks there. You pick the foot up. You make them give it to you. Then you hold it and you set it down.
Now go ahead and put it down. Good. Good. Now walk away. All right. That's perfect. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move her. Now, did she do anything wrong? No, she didn't. Why am I moving her? Why are you moving her, Chris? Because I want to let her know that I can. It's part of my exercise. It's part of my work right here. Go ahead. There you go. Now pick it up. There you go. Good. Now walk away. Perfect. Perfect. See, just teaching her that there's no repercussions from this. This is a good thing,
Right.
you know. And I want to let you and the audience know that this doesn't just have to do with picking up her feet. It has to do with everything. Everything. That good experience right there has to do with saddling, handling, veterinarian, trail loading.
And then you pick it up and you clean it. You set it down.
Now those of y'all that are farriers out there, so put it down. Now I'm going to go ahead and work it. Those of y'all that are farriers out there, you can't leave that up very long when you're first teaching a colt. You can't leave it up there very long. Okay, come on back.
Always try to end on a good note and set it down.
Oh, yeah. Good. Good. Now let me just walk her, move her away right here.
I cannot stress how much I believe in this process. As a farrier, yes, it's important. It's very important, actually, for our safety and theirs. But as a horse owner, this should be your number one concern because it sets this horse up for life. Doesn't matter what sport they're in. It always helps. Just like Chris said, that's the ultimate goal. Thinking and calm.
To get the story right is a huge responsibility because nobody else is trying to tell that story, and that story being that of rural America or that story being of agriculture. So therefore we do have.
I wouldn't do as much hoof knot because you don't have a lot of time. I wouldn't do as much hoof knot because you don't have a lot of time. Give her another chance. If she doesn't, just put it down. I'll work her.
Okay. Clean it, nip it, give it back. You want to make sure that you don't push these horses past their time limits, because even the best horses, if they're babies like this, can only stay focused for so long.
You look in her eye and just see, you know, that was a good experience for her.
Yes, sir. That was awesome.
You know, how many problems start with horses that people don't realize because they're not prepared?
Oh, for sure.
You know, I mean, there's got to be a lot of preparation in this to help this horse get through some of these obstacles. And we look at ourselves and we try to help ourselves and understand the horse a little better. I think you find a lot of solutions.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm sure it's the same way with the foot.
Oh yeah, it's all the things that apply in life, that when things get too far out of hand, you got to go back to the basics, apply it to the hoof. They're just basic fundamentals to succeeding in life, feet, everything.
Sure. Yep. Good job. Just touch her hip. There you go, and walk away. Good job. Might just push her over here. Good job. All right. Well, let me just lead her up here for a second. There you go. Good. Now you can go ahead. I pay a lot of attention to that other side hind leg. You see that outside hind leg, when it's way up underneath them and off balance, they're not going to stand very long.
Starting to twist?
Yeah, starting to twist pretty good. And so sometimes you got to bring it out. A lot of the time you push it in there, it twists even more.
Right.
You got it cocked up, ready for you. Great job. There's a good change. A lot of things you can do right here. I mean, we got, watch just even me loving on her. Watch just right here, me even leaning on her, and watch how I can just rein her around here. Watch how I just rein her around here, just like if I'm riding her. See there? See there? She's already starting to ride. See there? And it's just soft, and she's got her eye connected to me, you know, and everything's soft and everything's together. You know, she's wanting to keep her eye on me because she knows that leadership feels good.
Absolutely.
That connection feels good.
You're set up for success before you even ever get on her.
Yep, exactly. And so we'll have that opportunity for her, and you know, her groundwork will be better. We'll have that opportunity for her where she'll want to try to please us. So we were able to work with this filly, give her some groundwork, some manners, some exercises to do, and it flowed over into where you could come in and pick up her feet. I think it's obvious to the viewers out there that there's no way you could do her feet safely.
Right.
I don't care how many people you had trying to hold her. When she's trying to rear up and flip over and trying to get away from you, and it was just, you know, she was panicky. There wasn't any leadership. She's screaming out to her friends for leadership and comfort. Now she's got leadership and comfort here, and she feels connected. Yes, therefore, she's able to start to trust and allow you to do things and think through the situation instead of overreact and be on the defense.
Right.
So we were on the offense to help her not be on the defense.
Right. Over the years of working for Chris, I've seen him do some amazing things with horses. I have a lot of confidence when I'm working with a horse with him. And it is not an understatement to say that I will work on anything if he's helping me. And that is a challenge.